All right, so this may be a little late. We're about a week late from all the excitement and stuff, but it's still something that I wanted to talk about, something that I had seen. And we're going to talk about the Oscars and that famous slap that was heard around the world. We're going to talk about that this week on episode 123 of The Relaxed Male. Hello and welcome to Relaxed Male, podcast that helps men change their relationship with themselves. I am your host, Brian, and I am a men's life and mindset coach who is here to help you understand that you don't have to suffer at your own expense. You can live your dream, and I encourage you to set, then pursue your goals. So join me as I change the mindset and attitudes of men so that they can be the leaders of their families and their destinies. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. All right, so we're talking this week about the infamous slap, but there is a detail on this that I actually want to explore because they're showing a lot about what society is becoming from this slap, and it's showing itself, and it's just screaming to be talked about. And yet I've not really heard anybody talk about it yet. Now, it also could just be because I'm playing catch up on some of the podcasts that would really talk about that. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that just went on in that few minute and a half, 2-minute little area of the world where it shows a lot of what happens when a man gives up his masculinity. And that's exactly what happens. Now, before we even dive in, though, I want to say, guys, if this is your first time listening, I normally don't do, pop culture stuff, but this has a ramification that just is screaming men and screaming what it means to be a masculine man, what it means to be a nice guy, and why the nice guys need to be kicked to the curb. This is what I want to expound and what I want to share and what I want to talk about. So in all reality, when it comes to Hollywood, I honestly, until the following day, I had no idea the Oscars were even going on. This is how much I really don't care about the Oscars. I think it's just become essentially a circle jerk. It just a bunch of people standing around. And if Oscars were a real thing and they were really talking about what the best movie was and who was the best actors and all that, there would be a lot more proof of that, because most of the times these movies that this is the best picture, no one's freaking heard of the best picture. And then after you go through and you watch it, you're like going, well, that was 2 hours I can never get back. A lot of times the best picture and things like that. I mean, sometimes, they turn out to be a pretty darn good show, but there's a lot of times, especially in the world and era of being woke and all the ramifications of that is just trash, really. So, and I have no idea. I've not ever seen King Richard. I didn't even know King Richard was a movie until I was trying to figure out why Will Smith, what Will Smith won his award for that he got after smacking Chris Rock. So I'm just laying that out. I'm not a big celebrity following person. Yeah. Do I have celebrities I really follow and really would like to meet and, I would honestly like to be a part of a couple of their lives, not to be in their lives, but be a part of it, to live life intentionally. There's a couple people I've seen and I've come across that I find to be truly interesting people to watch. But sadly, this one, the subject, the person of this subject is not. He is a nice guy. And this is why, honestly, if there's anybody I am on, if pulling sides, you got Team Chris and Team Will. I'm with Team Chris on this one because, he was doing what a comedian does. He makes a joke. He made the joke at somebody's expense, and the the result is just is a dumpster fire of a life in all reality. I would not wish to be Will Smith in any form, fashion, or another. He is, but this is one of those weird things, and it's amazing that it came up, and it's amazing that it came to light like it did, because it shows why the nice guy isn't a good thing to have in your life. Now, you may stand up, you may go, but he was defending his wife. Was he really? Rewatch that, and I put a link to the video, and that was put up by The Guardian, where Chris Rock. It starts out with Chris Rock talking. He's kind of talking about Javier. I think it's Javier Bardem or what. Anyhow, somebody and his wife, and they were both up for Oscars, and he was making a joke about that. And then he looks over and he, made the joke, as we all know. He made the joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair, because she had shaved it all off because she has, what is it called? Alopecia. Anyhow, she's got hair loss. She's developed, she's losing her hair, which, I mean, as a woman, that's as I know women identify with themselves and build their identity around their hair, I can understand how that would be a sore spot for her. Because it's much like women and their breasts, men and their penises and things like that. Those are, if I suddenly woke up and I found out that I was going to have a surgery and my nether regions, so to speak, were going to have to be removed. Talk about some deep depression. Now, I know you're saying, well, dude, that doesn't define you, but does it not? Because I am a man. And men, believe it or not, amongst what a lot of the teachers in your schools are wanting to teach your kids, men have penises and testicles, and women have vaginas and breasts. Now, men do have pectoral muscles and stuff, and many men who are overweight have moobs, but at the same time, there's some very huge differences between the two sexes. All right. There's two genders. There's a male, there's a female, there's a man, there's a woman. And so I can understand, if you have your hair suddenly start to disappear, start to fall out, and you're starting to lose your hair and all that, I can see how you would be sensitive to that joke. And to be the butt of a joke on national television, yeah, it might aggravate you. I can understand why Jada wasn't happy, but we're not talking about Jada in itself. We're talking about Will Smith and what led up to the famous slap. Because if you watch it, when he made the G.I. Jane 2 joke, it pans over and you see Will Smith. He's laughing. Ha ha ha. He's good old time. He got the joke. He laughed at it. And if you, at that same time, you may have to rewind it and watch it again, but watch Jada Smith's reaction. And because she's kind of like, hey, you're making fun of me. And so she all of a sudden shifts her attention and looks over at Will Smith. And as she's looking at him, she kind of leans off camera. And by that time they switch back over to Chris Rock. And Chris Rock is still doing his routine. And so you don't see the interaction between the two, but she either got a hold of his attention and said, you better do something about this, or you better, or he gave her a kick or something. Anyhow, she signaled to him, you better make this right. And so because Will Smith is a nice guy, that's when he decided, all right, I better make this right. Instead of making it right at a time where it was been more appropriate, he was just, okay. And he got up to make it right because he wanted to make sure he appeased Jada Smith. And so he got up, walked down to the middle of the stage. And this is where people really start to wonder whether the slap was real or not, because who slaps like that? I mean, he strolls up. If I was pissed, I would have been walking with a little more, I'm going to kick your ass type of walk. And he just kind of strolled up like, all right, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show off in front of my wife and the world on how good of a guy I am. And everybody's going to like me because I am going to be a great guy. And that's what I saw the walk represent. And then the slap was this open palm. And I've seen a couple of videos talk about it where it was like, it definitely learned to slap from the movies, because he gets his whole upper body into it and twist at the waist and everything else. And so, but if anybody was a man in that thing, that was Chris Rock, because Chris Rock could have easily have just turned around and just decked him, punched him, hit him square in the middle of the chin and rocked Will Smith's head backwards. But he didn't. He stood back up and made another joke about it. Wow, I just got the shit knocked out of me by Will Smith. He made a joke. He continued. He was visibly rattled. So that's why I think it actually happened. But at the same time, I mean, that'll be a controversy for a while. And who knows, maybe it'll come out and it was all fake and all made up. And if that's the case, again, everybody will sit back and go, why? But the fact that Will Smith did this shows us exactly what a nice guy is about. He did that, he sacrificed his integrity. He sacrificed his self-worth. He sacrificed apparently he sacrificed his role in the academy, because he quit that. He dropped out of the academy, which means he's not going to be open for any more awards. He's not going to be getting much in the way of pay. And he sacrificed his whole career just to walk up there and to slap Chris Rock. He sacrificed all that so that he could make sure that he looked good in front of his woman. Now, the problem that I have with all of this is they have an open relationship. Now, you may be going, well, you can't judge on their relationship. Oh, bull crap, I can't judge on their relationship. I've seen friends who supposedly wanted to have an open relationship and saw how it fell apart, because what an open relationship is it gives one person an excuse to not be committed to what they're supposed to be doing, which is taking care of the family. A lot of times it is the man who's going, hey, baby, let's have an open relationship, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, apparently it wasn't Will Smith that wanted the open relationship. It was Jada Smith, who didn't really want to have a relationship. She was just wanting to go walk around and screw people for the fun of screwing people, and not really care about the commitments that she made to her husband and her children. She would rather be able to see who else she could sleep with than to be in a committed, loving relationship. And that's a really sad deal to be brutally honest, because she gave up so much for her own selfish wants. She could have a wonderful relationship and done so much with that relationship if she absolutely wanted to, but she would rather, be able to sleep with Mark Anthony and, several other men that have been put to the history books. She has increased her body count, even though she is still quote unquote married. And Will Smith is, he's said he wasn't very happy with it. But he decided to just go along with it. And this is one of those things where show me the 5 people you should spend the most time with. You can have a truly deeply honest man, and if you stick them within a group of people who are not honest, they go out and they steal. The first time they steal, yeah, it's going to be really horrific for him. He's going to, oh my gosh, well, I could never do that. Oh my gee whiz, who steals? I can just go off and buy it. Why would you buy? They would come up and they will wrangle with that event of being there present as they find out that their quote unquote friends have stolen something. But as time goes on, that guy's going to go, oh, okay, well, they steal. He'll start making excuses for, they steal. It's nothing big. And eventually he takes something small, takes something bigger. And eventually he falls into the line of theft and stealing things, because that's who his friends are. They're okay with stealing, so he's going to be okay with stealing, and he will bend his morals to fit in with the group of people that he's with. And Will Smith did that. He He compromised his morals and his integrity with himself so that he was able to still be, in the view of Jada, a good guy. He's just doing the stuff that he needs to do to make sure that Jada likes him and approves of him and isn't mad with him. And because nice guys, like I've said in the past, nice guys do not like emotions. They can't stand really excessive emotions. They can't stand really wild swings of emotions. And you see that in Will Smith when he walks up there. He tries to really keep himself very level. I'm walking up there, smack, walks back, sits down. And when he's talking, he's got a scowl, but he's, he had to say it twice because, the first one wasn't sounding all that very convincing. Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. It's sad to see that somebody, and Will Smith is talented. I'll give him that. He is one talented dude. Pursuit of Happiness is one of my favorite movies. Even though it is just him and his son, Jaden Smith. That movie though is based on a true story. And there is so much about how to be a man in The Pursuit of Happiness that if Will Smith truly picked up on it, he would have not stood around alongside and gone, you know what, Jada, why don't you just go do your thing, leave the kids with me. I'll keep the house and let the kids grow up in a normal household instead of, hey, who's mom sleeping with tonight type of thing. Because whether or not you tell your kids what you're doing or not, kids, especially as the older they get, they really start to figure stuff out and they can put two and two together and they're a lot brighter and a lot more observant than you care to say. So to have them see that now, whether Will and Jada care about that, I have no idea. They may care about it. They may worry about it. They may not. Again, that's something I really, I just find it a bit sad. It's not like I'm going to go charging in there going, you have abused your children. No, but I am wanting to voice the fact that Will Smith, because he hasn't stepped into his masculinity, he hasn't stepped into the being a man, living life on his terms. Because if he was living his life on his terms, when Jada kicked him and said, go fix it, it's like he'd been leaned over and gone, babe, it's a joke. Okay. Laugh with it. You will actually be more gracious if you laughed along with it. Self-deprecating humor. All right. But no, sadly, Jada, I think, believes she's a lot higher on the Hollywood royalty platform than what she really is. Because I'm really trying to think of some of the movies that she's been in. I know she's done some television shows, but that's about the extent of it. I think she's done a couple of movies that didn't really do too good. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't follow her career that closely. But when open relationships when it comes to open relationships and nice guys, they're often going to do that. They're often going to have some form of acting out sexually. That's one reason. Hello. All right. So guys, sorry about that. My wife's dog decided to wake up from her nap and was walking around. I didn't know she had gotten off the couch, but she's apparently figured out how to get off the couch, which is a good thing. Yay. I was expecting her to holler at me, but nope, no love. She got off and is gnawing on a log right now. So love dogs. They're part beaver. But anyhow, so when it comes to, I forgot where I was at. Anyhow, well, I was wrapping up anyhow. So, but when it comes to like open relationships and guys being nice guys, they're going to lose themselves in it. They're going to lose who they are. They're going to lose their identity because honestly, they don't have an identity, because if they had an identity, they would have to have somebody not like them and be okay with them not liking them. And I've got a friend, if you've ever heard of him, Big Brother Jake podcast, his show talks about a couple times where he has had interactions with Will Smith back when he was Fresh Prince, and how he was very aloof. Again, it shows that how much of a broken man being a nice guy will. And all that he did wasn't to defend his wife's honor, wasn't to defend his wife in any form, fashion, or another, though that's what it can appear. You can easily see the fact that being a nice guy, being that what a lot of people want to call a beta male, causes a man to lose the pride in himself, lose his integrity that he has, and lose the sense of masculinity that he should have, because a man would have settled everything in private and taken care of it then. But no, he wanted to make a spectacle of it so that everybody would like him. Chris Rock, though, took it like a man. He got slapped and continued going. So again, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I'm on Chris Rock's side. I think he's in the right. He did good. Will Smith, completely wrong, completely on the wrong side of the deal. He was the bad guy, if you want to put good and bad tags to it. So anyhow, with that, guys, hope this episode gave you a little bit of something to think about. If you found something in this episode that you liked, go and please share this out. Share this episode out with your friends, your family, somebody. If it had somebody who you thought of personally, then go ahead and share that with him. Share it as a text message. You can, most podcast platforms have some type of share button on them. And you can actually just hit that share button and you can send it as a text message. You can just put it up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any other place that you have a following, and let people know there is a site out there that actually talks about masculinity, talks about the nice guy syndrome, the nice guy problem that all of us are facing these days is not a good thing to have, and that we really need to start getting men to face the fear of being a masculine man, because society needs us to be a masculine man, and it does us all good if all us men were to stand up and start being masculine, start doing what we're supposed to do, start taking on the responsibilities that a masculine man takes, and instead of being the passive aggressive, slimy, smarmy, nice guy with all his co-work contracts. So guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thanks a lot for listening. Y'all take care and see y'all next week. Till then, bye.